Center official. And here we go from Ambrose Urbanic Field on the campus of Pitt University. Two teams that are loaded with talent, maybe an opportunity right off the jump, and Dama off his line to claim. And he did start in their game against UNC. We were there earlier this week, a 1-0 win, but he wasn't tested very much. And this is a game, no doubt, you think he will be tested.
Mike Noonan talked about that. He said, listen, I'm going with him back-to-back because we got to give him an opportunity to shine and be tested. And when you look overall at who he's had to play within the resume, that's the biggest note here, Dallin, is as it's gone back and forth, it's a little bit unfair to look at Trevor Mannion and think, well, he hasn't played as well. He's had the harder challenges. That's simple enough. The test itself in the schedule have all relied on Trevor Mannion to step up. He's been good. The difference is, and Dama has been a little bit better, but tonight he's got an opportunity to be great.
And Dama getting the starts at all the non-conference games. None of those were ranked opponents. And then he did play North Carolina, the first ACC game that he started, did get that win earlier this week. And now this is the first test of a truly dynamic offensive team with the Panthers. Now the first time they have the ball back to their goalkeeper, Joe Vandersar. Jackson Gilman on it, plays it over to Idal Sefchetti. Sefchetti getting his first start, 15 in white, as a Pitt player, FDU transfer. Out of Lundegaard, turns and plays it back to Dama. So with early on with this game, both these teams have struggled for form. We mentioned Clemson getting the win earlier this week, which was huge. Pitt hasn't won a game since September 16th when they beat North Carolina State. 3 straight games, 1 draw. What are you looking for early in this match?
You obviously want to instill confidence within both of these teams because, as we mentioned, they are still 2 of the best teams in college soccer. They're just not playing well right now, but they understand that. It's not like there's something groundbreaking that has to be done. Little things within a game, Dallin, affect the overall outcome, and that's exactly what's gone on.
Mohamed Say may have a chance, fall right to his feet after a battle with Jackson Gilman. Now Jackson Walty will get it out of pressure and brought down and corralled there by Brandon Parrish.
And I showed you in the open defensively how, it's one mistake within the front 3 on a missed press. Then the rotation doesn't come from the midfielder. All of a sudden, you've isolated the back line, and you get yourself into trouble. So you can't look and go, well, this person has to be better, that person has to be better. Just like on the success side of things, it's a team effort. It's the same thing defensively for Pitt. And for Clemson, it's a little bit of the same story. It's funny because when you talk to the coaches, they say, well, Clemson's kind of going through what we're going through.
Yeah,
right?
They both said it.
It's, they're kind of going through what we're going through. But I go back to the comment in our opening remarks saying that these teams have been here before. Last year, we had a very similar conversation. Pitt had gone 7 wins in a row. They were 8-2 after 10. They won a national title. Pitt, on the other hand, they get to the final 8. These teams have the ability to be the best in the land. Why not a game like this to kickstart you back into action?
Usman Silla on the ball, number 10 in orange, leads the league right now, the ACC in points per game, just over 1.6 points a game, an absolutely dynamic player. Mohamed Say, the Spaniard, tall but good on his feet, over to Isaiah Reed, most outstanding player of the College Cup last year, 2 goals in the national final. He's back in the lineup. Reed, 27, missed 2 games because of COVID protocols. But we've talked a lot about the defense in the open for Pitt. The beginning of this game is real important because look at this. Within the first 10 minutes in that 3-game winless run, they've given up a goal in the first 10 minutes. That Virginia game, it was, my math is terrible, 79 seconds.
Yeah, seconds into it, and it doesn't do you any favors, does it? Having to track back in so early on. The good news is the character, although tested, it shows the mentality that, hey, we can go and get it done. That's great. Yep. The problem is you got to stop fighting from behind. You got to go be able to win a game and have somebody else chase you.
They drew every one of those matches as Valentino looking for the foul, no call. Elton Chifamba is down. The Pitt Panthers faithful letting Cern Stoica hear it, and so is Noel. Hamady Diop on the ball, one of the best center backs, if not the best center back in the nation. He missed a number of games throughout the course of this year. Injury to his hamstring in the 3rd game of the season. That's been the story, as we've said already, for both teams. Injuries have been a huge story for Mike Noonan's crew. Noonan doing a great job, obviously, at Clemson, reigning national champs, 13th year at the helm there. Gone to 3 college cups. Joey Skinner battling. Skinner had the game-winning goal against Carolina off a header earlier this week, off a corner played in by that man with front of the ball that gets called for a foul. Alvaro Gomez. There's Mike Noonan again. As mentioned, 3 college cups. Former great player at Middlebury. Played Sweden professionally. MISL. Also played with Jay Vidovich growing up. These couple Connecticut guys. He's from Westport. Jay's from New Canaan. They've known each other for decades. Silla spins out of some trouble, finds Skinner. Yeah, that's an easy call.
It's always fun to hear what these guys' backgrounds are and
yeah,
the relatability. Because sometimes you ask, I'll ask that question and say, hey, what's your relationship with the opposing coach? Don't really know him, a lot of respect, blah, blah, blah. Not the case. We've known each other since we were teenagers.
Yeah.
Have been yelling at each other ever since.
Playing together in summer leagues and hanging out. Uh-oh, this is a mistake by Gilman. But Say was called for the foul on Gilman, actually. They said he pulled him back to create the space. Stoica explaining it to him. Injuries have been an issue with that young man's career. He had issues in 2020 and 21 as well, but he's been fully healthy. Started every match. But as you mentioned, the productivity is just not quite what we expected the last few games.
Well, the other side you have to understand within that is, okay, yes, the numbers are off. The way that he plays, post-up player, you want to be able to play into his feet. He still moves really well off the ball and with the ball in front of him, especially for his size. But Mike Noonan has talked about almost every single opponent that they've played has given them a different look. And within that, a lot of times the productivity coming off the back line and distribution into the 9 spot, Mohamed Say specifically, hasn't been as frequent. So sure, the numbers are down, but his ability to be involved in play itself is the same reason that it's dropped off, because he's just not seeing enough of it.
Yeah. When
Silla's not out, that you're talking about in terms of an attacking player, that's the most dangerous player in college soccer. He's out on the field, you're asking the 9 to do a lot more work off the ball.
Joey Skinner getting forward, the UNCG transfer. First team All-Southern Conference last year. Able to play it to the feet of Reed, but eventually he's dispossessed. Michael Sullivan's pass connects, but now pinged around a bit. Enrique Montana, the right back, number 12, essentially popped up there. Over to Brandon Parrish. Parrish's pass wayward to Walty in his 89th college game. Dude is the leader in active games played in the country and in minutes. He's almost at 7,900 minutes played in his collegiate career. Former walk-on, man. What a story and what a player that guy is.
Well, you mentioned earlier what you want to see from a team. I'll tell you what I want to see from a player like Jackson Walty. It's the leadership capability. His commanding presence that he has on the field reverberates into the locker room as well. In times of need within this sport, you're looking around for someone to say, steady, it's okay, boys, let's get going. Jackson Walty is the guy who has that character and can fill that void for this Pitt team, who's just been a little bit 6s and 7s, spread out all over the place, poor decision making as mentioned. The stoic presence that he provides from central locations, unprecedented for this Pitt Panthers team over the past couple of seasons.
No doubt, not just Pitt's team. I mean, across the country, really, to have that type of lockdown guy to really anchor your team in the middle. Fantastic career he's had, grad student now. And he's been part of that, the whole changing of the guard. I mean, with Jay Vidovich's 7th season here, but in the beginning, this wasn't just a rebuild project. This was a reclamation project of a team that didn't even really exist. And they built it into a national powerhouse, and Walty's been one of the key people building them along the way on the ball now.
A little different winning 8 games in 2018 and winning 16 and just 2 years later.
Yeah.
Going to a college cup.
Sefchetti, FDU transfer, pings it long, looking for Noel. Brought down by Elton Chifamba. Ooh, bad tackle there by Walty, and that's going to go right to a card quickly. And took down Usman Silla, and 9 minutes in, you've got your engine room, your guy that's breaking up tackles already on a yellow.
You also wonder, I mentioned the decision making before, why are you leaving your feet here? The way that the ball is presented to Chifamba, it's away from his body. That first touch is going to be one of 2 things. It's going to be away from the play because it's going to move towards the back line because he's trying to gain momentum, or he's going to try and hold it up. Either way, it's a negative touch. It's not going to affect the movement coming forward. So if you're Jackson Walty, you stand your ground. A little bit of pressure on the backside of the player. If he takes the touch away from him onto the back line, then you let the boys in front of you step up into it. Instead, you get yourself into trouble and earn yourself a card just 10 minutes inside.
Michael Sullivan's trying to work on getting himself in trouble. Soren Stoica's telling him back up. The sophomore, Deer Lakes High School here in Pennsylvania. Getting only his 3rd career start today. Again, injuries plagued that midfield and the front line. And now we're back underway. Gomez has passed to Parrish, wayward. Chetty pings it back to Joe van der Sar. Walty, bit of space, over to Sefchetti. Gilman. Enrique Galina. Grad student, transfer from USF on the ball. Grew up in the Palmeiras Academy down in Brazil. They're #1 in the Brazilian First Division right now. On it again. Alti under pressure by Silla. Playing Noel into the channel. Lundegaard comes out to defend. Ricochets off Noel for the throw-in.
Just keep an eye on the overall shape, Dallin, for the Clemson Tigers. One of the tendencies that you get out of Brandon Parrish, whether he's in the midfield or onto the front line, is he's usually isolated to the right side of that equation. But so is Alvaro Gomez. So as you change one of those, what they've done is they've pushed them both to the right. Parrish has come a little bit further outside and dropped Usman Silla as well as Isaiah Reed. You're almost getting a 5th outside back for the Clemson Tigers with as deep as Isaiah Reed is because of the over-rotation on the right flank.
Sullivan lays it off to Filip Mirkovic. He plays Almeida, first touch, second touch wide. Huge opportunity for a second-team All-League player in Almeida that has yet to score this season to open his account, but couldn't get it on frame.
Within that rotation, there's got to be an understanding here from Isaiah Reed that as he drops down and he's got to keep this mark in front of him. He doesn't check back to the inside. That's the smartness of Almeida here. He drifted a little bit to the right. Isaiah Reed thinks he has him. Little cut back to the inside. It's the same thing that have been the mistakes for the Pitt Panthers that have now funneled over to the back 9 for the Tigers.
First big opportunity of the match, just over 10 minutes into the game. Almeida, born in Brazil, Salvador, Montverde product, as are many players on this field for both teams, which is a soccer factory down there in Florida. Parrish is touch heavy. Diop pressing it forward, over to Skinner. Silla comes short, he's got space. He's running people, he's dangerous. Bumped off the ball, no call, shoulder to shoulder. Good job by Valentin Noel, an attacker coming back. Pitt trying to counter as Mirkovic is on it. Leads the ACC in assists per game, Mirkovic does. Another one of those Panthers that missed time early in the year due to COVID protocols, 21 in white, middle of your screen. Galina's head up. Tried to play it through. Goes all the way to Ndema. Freshman from Ghana, another one of those Montverde players. As is Amady Diop on the ball from Senegal and Montverde.
I think they run a lotto for those kids. Just an opportunity to get that talent.
Just to get that much talent, yeah.
Ridiculous.
I mean, the pipeline, Coach Ponnick's done a great job down there, and Mike Newton is a connection down there, but so does Jay Vidovic as well. There's a number of guys from that Montverde program here as well. Playing it forward to Silla. He can't quite get there. Galina cuts it off.
And let's remember, they're not just coming into a collegiate program. These guys are going to the next level too.
No doubt. And that ball went into touch, so go out for a throw-in. There's Lucas Rosa, 6 in white, grad student, transfer from St. Francis University. former Northeastern Conference Player of the Year back in 2019 at St. Francis. Done a great job at right back, and this could be an opportunity for Say. Gets the shot off! Just wide of the pipe. And Joe Vandersar looks back happily and sees his net has not been pierced.
It's the same thing. It's this little shoulder drop when you peel off here. Good little cutback to the inside, but watch the back line once again. You know, one of the things that I didn't mention to you, Dallin, on the first example I gave you in the open, yes, I used the word trickle-down effect, but it's also the shape itself. A lot of times we've seen this back four where you're getting 3 out of the 4, 2 out of the 4. Sequentially, you want them in a line, especially when you're that deep in your own territory. You want one flat line so that when you step in unison. And in that situation right there, 2 guys step up, but the backside runs stay low. That allows the runner of Say to come back through. Keeps him in an onside position.
Is that a communication and awareness thing? Okay.
100%. The other thing about it is, and we haven't addressed it, is because of the communication issues, they're coming directly from all of the rotation, either because of COVID or injury. This team last year, they had their injury issues as well. They had 6 separate configurations in 2021, but that was over 20 games. Now that we're approaching the 10th game in, this is the 5th time this year that we've seen a different back line for the Pitt Panthers, and I promise you, age, experience, that all comes into play. The tendencies of the player on your left have changed every single game. Jackson Gilman, he's played every position on the back line. It's not easy, even as a goalkeeper, to recognize all of that rotation and still keep the quality up defensively.
They're missing their left back. Normally Muhammad Abulnadi is out injured, picked up an injury at the beginning of the UVA game. But to last year and this year comparison, I mean, you're losing Arturo Ordonez, Bryce Washington, Jasper Leffelsen, who's playing really well at Real Salt Lake. I mean, you lost all league players across that back line. So did Clemson. They lost 4 of their 5. Same thing at Pitt, and both these teams are still trying to figure this out because of how college soccer is. Not a long preseason, had injuries, had COVID, have all these different things, has made it really hard for them to find a rhythm, particularly on that side of the ball.
Sitting with Jay Vidovich, the head coach of the Pitt Panthers earlier today, felt the pain in his voice, and we've heard it from Mike Noonan as well. Let's be clear that the Bows are really spewing the same gospel at this point in time, but they don't get enough time in general. Then guys get injured, and all of a sudden, if a player's out for 2 weeks, it's 5 games sometimes. You know, you blink, and a quarter of your season is gone, and you've lost one of your best star players. And yet, through all of that, Clemson is still 8-2. Right where they were when they won a national title last year. Pitt's at 5-3-1. They're both still in the top 25. It must be nice to be off kilter, not playing very well, still sitting in the top 25 with an opportunity to move up.
And no doubt about it. Now this is the 6th ranked game that Pitt is playing too, so that 5-3-1 may be misleading. They beat Georgetown, who at the time was number 2 in the nation. We know the Hoyas have struggled now. They blasted WVU here in a game that we called, and this could be an opportunity for Bertrand Jacasson. He's deadly. Early ball played in. It finds the feet of Almeida. Noel just bobbled on him when he tried to touch it, tee it up.
It certainly doesn't hurt when you come from such a deep lying position and you've got your 6th that breaks that initial line of pressure. As Jackson Walty steps through, he drags runners with him, and then all of a sudden, you give everybody on the front line the luxury. That's why all that space is there, because they're tracking the holding midfielder. He's 3v1. Everybody else around him continues their runs going forward. Then you just get to have fun. It's not often that we see Valentin Noel squander an opportunity like that. But that is why they are one of the best teams in the country. Their offensive movements coming forward, the rotation, they're magnificent when they want to be.
Silla looking for Reed. Reed trying to leg it out. He does get there. Early ball played in, goes out for a corner. First corner of the match for Mike Noonan's crew. Gomez to take, and again, this is how they scored in that Carolina game on Monday night. That was a makeup game or postponed game from last Friday due to Hurricane Ian. Joey Skinner was the goal scorer. Skinner making the near post run. Headed down, off the line. Lundegaard almost had it, not out of danger yet. Wow. Huge play to keep this thing at zeros.
Someone's buying Seth Chetty dinner. Watch the left side of your screen. Outside defender. This is perfect. Ooh. Stick him on the back post. Zonally, you're waiting for the run. If the run drifts back off, you as a defender can peel away and mark in a one-on-one situation, go up and win the 50-50 ball in the air. But if it does drop into the box, hold your location because opportunities come your direction, and you're there for just that purpose to clear it off the line.
The Italian native, he's played a lot of games. This is his 68th college soccer game, but only his 5th appearance for the Panthers in this grad school year. The transfer from St. Francis, huge play off the line, because that was going in. Nothing Joe Van der Sar was going to do about that. Headed down on the line like that. Ball played over the top. Cut out by Montana. Parrish, first time trying to play Say to the channel, and as they call him, Mohawk can't get there in time. Gilman looking long. Second ball picked up by Mirkovic, looking for Jacasson. I only mentioned Jacasson's name once, but he created an opportunity, 10 in white. Tied for the program lead in history of Pitt soccer with 21 assists in his career.
Oh, that's a terrible mistake.
And Cern Stoica is, pulling it back, and there will be a card issued here to Galena. So you've got center back and your central defensive midfielder now carrying yellows.
You're just very lucky the first touch by Silla wasn't away from this group. Instead, he tries to maintain control and the little one in front of him.
Diop, that was
I'll get it.
Careless.
Just get right back. Why not?
As a coach, I imagine that annoys you.
Well, I thought you said it really well earlier today when talking to Mike Noonan. You said that's our favorite thing about these games is there's no aha moment. Right? You're not looking for something groundbreaking tactically. You know what the DNA of each team is. You know exactly what they're going to try to do. Little tweaks on set pieces and things like that can give you an advantage for sure. You just got to go out and play well.
Yeah.
That's all you're looking at right now. And back-to-back moments for each one of these squads. Pretty careless.
And part of the reasons for that is these two teams, as we mentioned, have been so successful in recent years. And when you're successful and you're able to impose your will on teams, you just go play your game. In the last 3 meetings of these teams, look at the rankings of these guys. Top 5 ACC championship games mixed in there as well. In 2020, Pitt went up 1-0, but Clemson came back to win. James Brighton with the game winner in that one. They played in the automatic qualifier game, which was the winner of each division in 2021 in the spring. And then last year they were, again, highly ranked. So these are two elite programs, to say the least. What were you seeing there? You were making some movement.
Well, I actually disagreed with the ref. Hard to believe.
So the standard operating procedure. Okay.
Shocking. Devin Kerr doesn't agree with the head referee. Now the deflection looked like it had actually come off of player going the other direction. He rewards it for him, though. Look at the amount of runners coming forward right now. You're basically seeing Mirkovic has come deeper. Jackson Walty has sat next to him, or at least just in front of him, and then they pushed everybody else forward. So you're not looking at 3 on the front line with the rotation. Lucas Rosa, the inverting outside back that has become so popular in modern day football. Thanks, Pep Guardiola. Yeah. And Rodrigo Almeida, instead of trying to play through the central locations, they're bypassing the initial line of pressure and going a lot more direct, but they've got the numbers to do it. It also pins Clemson back. Because it's easy to think, okay, well, if you play direct, you're removing some of your dangerous player in the midfield. You can make that argument. They found a little bit of success, but more importantly, the Tigers have to start from a much more restricted position. A lot of the balls they're picking up, they're 70, 80 yards from net as opposed to midfield or closer.
Sefchetti plays it out, and Brandon Parrish asking for a foul call there, saying that Sefchetti kind of showed his studs on a tackle. Throw down the line, looking for Say. He lays it off nicely to Gomez. Silla cuts it back, pings it out. Reed did touch it. Skinner on it. Knocked down by Almeida. And tackling now. This is going to be a free kick in a dangerous spot. And that was Filip Mirkovic was called for the foul. Take a look.
You wonder on another why. Look at this jersey hold from Silla. Reaching back behind him. Of course, it's always the second one that the referee sees where you get yourself into trouble. Little makeshift corner. These are actually very difficult. Twofold. The Tigers, a ball to get up and down quicker. A lot of times you'll see it hit with more pace as opposed to the loft. You can come short as well. I mean, there's plenty of room at the top of the 18. Chifumba's just sitting there laying and waiting.
Reed plays it back right up the training ground, looking for Hamidi Diop, who is dangerous. Now, Joe Van der Sar's about to make a goal kick here. His father is a legend, and his father, Edwin Van der Sar, is in the house. He's currently the CEO of Ajax, the legendary Netherlands club out of the Netherlands. Played for Manchester United, where he made his most fame. Juventus, he was twice a European champion, bronze medal winner with that Dutch team. Got to chat with him a little bit before the match as this ball played long. Almeida looking for it. And then Skinner 1v1. But Edwin was very complimentary of the Pitt facilities. His son is in his second year now and has held down that starting spot, started every game this year. And Ajax unfortunately did get throttled in the Champions League game this week, 6-1, an absolute destruction. He did say, well, being in the States is nice. Nobody's mentioned it to me except for you now.
But it's not often that standing next to someone we're dwarfed.
Yeah, I did feel small. Well, I shouldn't. As a basketball player, for me, it's pretty common. I was yelling at 7-footers sometimes, but that's
not in modern day life.
I'm saying in the real world, it's not that common. You're right, but absolutely legendary career, and now doing a great job running one of the best programs in the world at Ajax, despite that L. And handball going to be called on Diop as he came over to defend Noel, and this is going to be in a dangerous spot. Pitt crowd eager to come alive, start to pound those feet on the cold bleachers.
Got a ton that can hit this as well, but watch the arm. Ball bounces back up off the deck. Right arm right there. Coming back across as he tries to shoulder it, actually brings it across his body. Hand away from it, comes off the left hand, and now you've got to decide who wants to hit it. Lucas Rosa came up because he felt like
he scored from there before.
Right, a striking opportunity for sure. They've backed him off. Jacques Hesson picked this thing up, and he wanted it right away. For a guy that hasn't been overly involved, this is what you want. Someone who's got full intention. Heck of a location. This is one that's very difficult for a goalkeeper. Go 4 or 5 deep into a wall. Once you make the decision, you got to commit to it because you have to be able to keep coverage on the near post, but it's still an area that you're going to have to cheat a little bit because of the back post. The way that this is angled, 9 times out of 10, you feel like the striker's going to come back to the interior, and that's not the case.
Well, it's going to be Jacques Hesson solely here. You see Sullivan in the wall, 5-man wall for the Tigers. And Dema in goal, the freshman. Mike Noonan said he wanted to see him under some pressure. And Søren Stoica backing it up, making sure they go the 10 yards here. No magic spray, though, to show the line. One of the best inventions in modern world soccer.
Disappearing spray?
Disappearing spray. Whoever made that patent is just taking that to the bank. Somebody's sleeping on cash. Jacques Hesson to take on goal, and Dema spills it back out. First time shot, and Dema there again. Great technique by Jacques Hesson to get it on net again off the volley.
I told you, though, it's not the case. Everything tells you that he wants to bring this back to the near post, but we've seen the story so many times before. You'd think it's easier for him to go to the back post. It's actually not the case. I would actually make the argument it's more difficult because you have to put more pace on the ball, still get enough English to challenge the goalkeeper. I would say that Jacques Hesson's at midfield just down in front of us. He's kind of rubbing on his upper thigh area a little bit. Keep an eye on him. Did come into the game with a tiny knock.
Say applying some pressure on Gillen, back to Galena. Almeida can't corral it. Van der Sar blasted into the Oakland Knight. And we'll have the first subs of the match coming in here for Clemson. Waiting to get in the fray are number 17, Tyler Trimnell, the freshman from Lancaster, South Carolina, and Tim Strobeck, number 7, coming in, a striker from Sweden, a sophomore. Strobeck actually chose to come to Clemson instead of taking a Serie C offer, the 3rd division in Italy, out of his Hasselholm Academy in Sweden.
Watch his speed, Strobeck, trying to open up some more opportunity up front. He's extremely unselfish in his play, and he does such a good job of stretching this back line that, as we mentioned, coming in, they've had quite a few problems in the wide open fields and the transitional moments. Haven't seen a lot of that here tonight, and though you can play into Say's feet, give him a little break, some direction on the sideline with the coaching staff. Now you can go more direct over the top with Strobeck, and even if you don't get onto the end of the ball down, this goes back to my argument about 20 minutes in, you can reset your lines. You push your team higher up on the field, you condense it and make it more difficult for Pitt to play out now.
And take a look around the conference as Bertrand Jacasson runs onto this. Duke UVA, top 21 matchup, tied at 0 at his late second half. All these are 7 o'clock starts. How about Syracuse up at home to Wake Forest, number 4 team in the nation, coming off that loss to Duke. Now in danger of losing back-to-back games. Remember, they throttled Clemson 2 weeks ago, 6-1 on Clemson's field. Jacasson in space. Fontana retreating. Low ball played in, and Diop gets his foot there first. Those are the other 2 ranked matchups going on in the conference right now. We'll keep you abreast when they go final. Nice little reverse pass. Does Sullivan get there? He does.
No foul, no foul, no foul.
Crossing over 30 minutes into the match alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff. 0-0 between the Panthers and the Tigers here from Ambrose Urbanic Field. A couple of opportunities for both teams, and these 2 teams are 2 of the most talented, particularly attacking teams in the nation. They have created opportunities, but we've had a couple saves and a couple missed shots where balls didn't get on target. What's been your impression of the match the first 30?
You start with Pitt, and they look more of the aggressor. They definitely feel like they're comfortable at home, moving the ball a lot on the deck, good rotation side to side. There's a nice balance within the team because we've seen a lot of different looks. They have played over the top, underneath, seen really steps from everybody. I still look at defensively, if there were more opportunities coming, I would have a concern, but they're not because of a couple reasons for the Clemson Tigers. Number one, some of the balls coming off the back line uncharacteristically are just poor. Hamady Diop has played a couple. We've seen the same from Adam Lundegaard where they haven't been able to link up, and some of them have been just sprayed out of bounds, to be honest. And I look for Silla. You gotta find a way to get him involved in this game. The way that he's tracking right now, he's just pinched off the left shoulder of their number 9. He's down underneath. Walty is almost marking him out of the game inadvertently just because of the space that he's holding in that center spot. You got to get out of there, drift out a little bit, get on the ball a little bit more, and then you can start to track back in.
I'm sure Jay Vidovich, the Pitt coach, is probably pretty happy so far with at least, to your point, how they've been structured, but the lack of giving up a goal. As we mentioned, they've given the last 3 games, they gave up a goal in the first 10 minutes of the match. But in those 3 games, 8 goals allowed. The previous 6 games before that, just 3. So it's been a very different situation here for the Panthers as of late. But they have that 0 in their opponent's scoreline right now.
If you didn't have the opportunity to join us for the Louisville match, he said at halftime that he had to readdress and introduce himself to his team because he didn't recognize who was on the field. That's how off it's been.
Yeah, that first 45 there was rough. Shocking.
It was rough.
What's going on?
But he admitted it. Yeah. He said, listen, this isn't us. And I just reminded the guys that, we are so good for a reason. And they did create more in the second half. Defensively, there were some struggles there as well. And let's be very clear. Both of these teams are going to the NCAA tournament. Both of these teams are going to make the ACC tournament. That's not a problem.
Both these teams could win both those.
Easily, absolutely. Well, maybe not easily, but
yeah,
they could throw their name into the mix easily. We'll say it that way.
For sure.
But how good can you be when doing it? I mean, you give yourself an opportunity. Okay, you hit the lull. How do we work through it? Can we get healthy?
Yeah. Gomez plays it up to Trimnell, and that's off Trimnell's heel, out for a goal kick.
I'll tell you what Mike Noonan said when we were talking to him and discussing very similar subject lines. On the backside of all that, he goes, everybody's got to remember, there's a lot of luck that goes into this as well. You know, it's an inch here or there on a ball that goes off a post, a decision made by, you know, a trailing defender getting stuck in on someone that may or may not have been a penalty. Weather, travel, all of these things take effect on a game and the mental psyche of a player as well. It's easy to just go, oh, they lost 1-0. They struggled and lost 3-1. Yeah. There's much more behind it.
Gilman pings it over to Rosa. Rosa and Almeida combining, skips around a challenge, and now he's got some space. Early ball looking to play it over to Jacquesson. The Frenchman is quick. He was able to keep it in play. Back to his countryman in Noel, who's charging into the box. Keeps his feet off of Lundegaard. He wants a penalty. No call there. We'll take a look at that next dead ball if Valentin Noel had a gripe. He's upset, but as the ball's back in play, take a look here.
Valentino had a shout when the ball comes back across it. It hit his hand. Nope.
Lundegaard's knee.
Just off the knee. It's better defending, though. Adam Lundegaard, he struggled versus North Carolina. He stepped up nicely tonight so far. The real issue's actually been on the far side of the field, the left side, which is odd considering Hamady Diop is over there next to game-winning goal scorer against the Tar Heels last time out, Joey Skinner.
Malty making that long run, making Silla work, and Silla eventually got the ball played out, but he's holding his leg. So take a look at Jay Vidovich, one of the most successful coaches in the history of college soccer, 7-time ACC Coach of the Year, 5 of those when he was at Wake. He won a national championship with the Deacs back in 2007. Has completely, like I said, not revamped. He's built this Pitt program in relatively quick, short order to being a national powerhouse. Their first College Cup 3 years ago. Been to 3 straight NCAA tournaments. Needless to say, it's an impressive job. And to have all these international players come to a program that's not historically hasn't been any good is really impressive how he did it in that short period of time.
Well, in the modern era of collegiate soccer, you got to find a way to change your recruiting methods. Vidovich most certainly has done that.
Gomez has runners, plays it to Strobeck, back heel. Can Chifumba get there? He can't. Some complaints for a penalty. Not coming. Serge Stoica waves it off, a la Dikembe Mutombo, and Joe Van der Sar's not happy that even came to that. Chifumba's still down behind the play in the 6, and Stoica will stop it now.
He's leaning the entire time. Watch Chifumba. He recognizes early on that he's not going to win this foot race. It's a really good ball in behind here on the back heel. But as he comes through, watch the momentum. That forward lean is happening well before he gets anywhere near the ball. It's just outside the penalty mark. Well done by the referee. Good tracking by Lucas Rosa, coming all the way back across on the diagonal run. And Mike Noonan may have gotten himself into some hot water on the sideline, not liking the referee's lack of decision.
He literally walked Mike back into the coaching, the technical area, had a little word with him. And for anybody wondering, there is no VAR in that regard. You cannot have video assisted review for was there or was there not a foul or was there not a penalty, a foul in the area. You can, if there is the question, if the foul is called, if it is or outside of the box. That is the new addition this year. You can, that delineation, was it in the box or outside of the box? But you can't look to retroactively give a penalty or take one away. There's what can be reviewed. 4 instances when a goal is scored, identity of players for disciplinary matter, and determine if a fight occurred and the identity of all participants. And as we mentioned, the new rule this year was a foul in or outside of the box. We haven't mentioned Jacasson that much. Is there a way to get him more involved in this game? He's so deadly.
The initial answer would be yes. I'm going to backtrack a little bit and say no, because to me he looks like he's carrying a knock. A little bit tentative. And the times that he's been on the ball, it's been very good. But the weaving runs, the amount of runs that he normally makes in transitional moments, they're just less frequent here. So as he stays isolated out on this left-hand side, he's really hugging this touchline just in front of us.
Yeah, he's got chalk on his boots.
Yeah, he's just standing there. He's ready for the game to come to him, and that's a player who historically chases a match. He wants the ball at his feet. He's flip-flopping left and right. I will say, though, that for Almeida, he's not normally comfortable on this left-hand side, so you don't have that luxury for a midfielder on the front line and to change sides.
Sullivan finds space for Mirkovic. He can hit it from there and score from there. He'll give it a ride, deflected down by Diop. Almeida shielding the defender. Mirkovic to play it in. Out of Montana's head. And Tribnall will just try to knock it up to Strobeck. It's a much different fight when it's Strobeck versus Mohamed Say. You're giving about 4 inches, about 30 pounds less for Jackson Gilman to deal with. Noel tried to make that run between the center backs, and Mirkovic couldn't quite hit him. NYCFC product, Filip Mirkovic, one of the best midfielders in the country. Pitt still yet to make a substitution in this game. Now, they have not played in a full week. They had a full week of training, which definitely can help at this time of year. Games can come thick and fast. Galena in the channel to Noel, can't get there. And Clemson will make a sub. Nathan Richmond comes in the match. Comes in for Isaiah Reed, the freshman from Atlanta, part of the Atlanta United Academy for a while. His father, Richie, played in the 1987 Clemson National Championship team.
Let's go, boys. Go. Yes, sir. Move on. Move on.
Gilman stepping a bit into midfield and back to Sefchetti. Over to Noel. Doesn't bring it down clean. He's offside anyway. To get you updated a couple other scores around the conference. North Carolina now up 2-0 on Virginia Tech, looking to bounce back from that 1-0 loss at the hands of these Clemson Tigers at home in Chapel Hill on Monday. Duke UVA still 0-0. Tribnall looking to get end line. Running out of real estate. Keeps it in play, but back to Jacasson. Well done by Sefchetti. Ball stays in play. Now for goal kick. Yes, sir.
He was a real wild card for me coming into this game, Sefchetti, and he's played very well.
Yeah. First start. Yeah, I mean, first start with at this level.
By him one-on-one situations. Watch how calm he is. Remember, that's a left back. Just stepping over, dragging it right back across the body, 20 yards from goal. And yes, he certainly has the experience. 63 appearances at Farley Dickinson before coming here. 5th on the season when you're mostly used in a substitute role. He's been very calm and collected on this left-hand side.
Walty dispossesses Gomez. Falls to the feet of Jacasson. 1v3. And ball's taken from him. Usman Silla, not said his name in quite some time, back on the ball. He's playing more in a midfield position. He can pop up everywhere. We've talked about it. Do you like him more in that space, or when he's more floating around the front line of that team?
I like him as a false nine when he kind of peels off that shoulder and comes down underneath into the pocket. The other side of that, in order to have success, is you've got to find a way to make sure that you're challenging the shape of Pitt on the right flank. So when he comes in, you got to make sure somebody stretches out, and defensively, because of the way that Pitt has been attacking, they've dragged the left side of that front three deeper. So first it was Isaiah Reed, and then it was Nathan Richmond. As they come so far deep, you pretty much don't have a single representation out on the left side. So everything then becomes isolated on one focal point within the center of the field. Much easier to mark, and that's why he's not on the ball as much. There's no space for him to step into. It's a weird rhythm.
Yeah.
Kind of, we're excited, this is beautiful, nap time.
Well, that's going to keep people watching. Well done. But no, we think the game's going to be played a certain way. And there have been a couple chances, but it has not been as dynamic as you would expect from these two teams. This could be good, though. Silla in a lot of space. He's got Richmond ahead, who's straight offside. Pings it over to Skinner on the overlap. Left back getting forward. Heavy touch. He still stays with it, though. Touch back to him. Skinner trying to find Richmond, but Mirkovic came back and put out the fire. Diop's going to hold it in. He might hit it from there. He's been known to do it, but he wants it on his left peg. Pops it out to Strobeck. Strobeck. It's Skinner. Skinner to Richmond. Richmond! Big save, Van der Sar. The freshman looking for his second career goal, but Joe Van der Sar stood tall in the net. There's his proud papa right there. The greatest to ever wear the mitts.
Much better from the Clemson Tigers. Every time you shift, it forces everybody else from Pitt to start to rotate back over. Love this little run on the right side of your screen by Richmond, who just drops down underneath. That's the space that was just vacated by Usman Silla. He rotates down in. You get that representation on the left. More importantly, you got another attacker in an advantageous place.
Oh, what a shot! Another header, another goal off a corner. And Gomez hooks up Lundegaard. He almost scored earlier in the match. This time he would not be denied.
As we approach the halftime whistle, the one other thing you got to remember, and the best conference in college soccer, is it is hard to win a game on the road. One of the more difficult things to do. Mike Noonan addressed it, and I said it's the little details that can separate you within a match. For a Pitt team that has been the better by far in this first half, dead ball situation, it's just a congested area and a player that wants to go up and get it more than others. Run to the near post. Could the goalkeeper have stepped out and punched in that situation? You can make an argument for it. But for a center back peeling off the shoulder, coming diagonally, very difficult to track with all the bodies in front of you, and they've got their lead.
Adam Lundegaard has 2 huge goals now on the career, both road games in the ACC. Scored against BC, which ended up being a 2-1 win in Chestnut Hill. He's now scored here to break the deadlock with just seconds remaining and a rather stunned Pitt crowd here, as the Panthers yet again go into break. Down 1-0. Alvaro Gomez had the assist off the corner that won them the match in Carolina. He has another one today. We now got Coach Mike Noonan here. Coach, up 1-0. Obviously finishing the half really well, but you look at the performance over the 45. What are your thoughts? Done since September 16th. That's Devin Kerr. I'm Dallin Cuff.
Cooler than him. He's so even-keeled, stoic. He's got an answer for everything. That's the type of guy I want to play for.
I think there's a lot of coaches here in this conference that are great tacticians but are good managers, and that's part of the reason it is the best conference in college soccer. You've got Coach of the Years on both sides right now. Mike Noonan, outstanding coach, reigning national champ. And here we go.
I respected that answer, though, real quick.
Yeah.
Think about it. All the answers I have are on the field, and he's not wrong.
Yeah.
You know, when I asked him that, I was saying that you guys are playing well. You know, there's one little slip up before halftime, and weren't really broken down that much. It is odd in this day and age, though, to not see a change. But that's the confidence that he's got within this team. Told you, when they are at their best, they were almost impossible to break down. The problem is, it's the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah. Diop comes over. And for no reason now, Noel just kind of upends Diop. Well, actually, the offside flag is up. Kevin Cook, the near side official, said that Noel was in an offside position. This Clemson team, again, just played Monday night, traveling up here. They were traveling to North Carolina. A little bit short on numbers. They only made 3 subs in the first half. They've gone back to their starting crew for the most part, with the exception of Tim Strobeck and Nathan Richmond are still in the game here as the wingers. But you mentioned Pitt has a week off, and they have not subbed anybody, which is very rare in college soccer because you can re-enter in the second half. And Strobeck called for the foul.
I would also say that the argument for Isaiah Reed, people may turn their head a little bit and wonder where he is. You can't just throw a guy back into the mix and expect him to go 90 minutes after he's been away from the game.
Chifumba down in a heap, no call. And Chifumba is still down, and Damo will play it. Diop's got his head up, and at some point they're gonna stop the clock or stop the play, and they finally do. And Chifumba on the deck. Mike Noonan saying he got cleaned out, maybe even took a high boot with the studs up. He'll get some assistance, and we'll take a look. The Columbus Crew Academy product.
The argument is because of the studs. It's not necessarily the challenge itself, it's the way that you lead. In that scenario, if you come horizontally across the ball or you try and step through with the instep of your foot, you can get away with a challenge like that. I'm actually calling a foul there because the studs come up over the top and they're coming down as Chifumba's coming up to it.
But did Sullivan win the race, though? Does he have right to take that ball first?
It's the height, though.
Okay.
It's the height. If your foot's above waist level, it's the proximity of where the ball is. So if it's a little bit lower, there's no foul. And if also the ball could be at the same height, in theory, if you're coming across it, maybe the referee lets you get away with it. That situation, I'm shocked that he doesn't blow a whistle.
Well, Chifumba waiting to re-enter the match as they look long for Say. Mirkovic, Chifumba back on the pitch. You see him in the middle of your screen there. Enrique Montana, one of the few West Coast-based born players. Number 12 in orange, pressing the ball. Seattle Sounders Academy product. Underguard, the goal scorer, on the ball. Turnover to dangerous area. Back to Almeida. Mirkovic. Trying to float over the top for Noel. Heads it, can't settle, and Damo off his line to punch. Mirkovic steps in to keep the ball in the attacking half of the Panthers. Shielding it nicely back to Rosa. Galena, the center back, stepping forward. Sefchetti, upended, no call, and here we go the other way. Strobeck dispossessed, and well done by Jackson Walty as always. And Srin Stoika now is going to come have a talking to at the Pitt sideline. Warning, he's getting a yellow. And it's hard to see who was receiving that yellow card. It was not Jay Vidovich. But the bench is issued.
Hey, to lock it down and reset. Yes, go me inside. You can left side. You can left.
Under guard. Back to Diop. Silla can't bring it down. And Rosa upended, and Srin Stoika just says foul. Now, when they're trying to maybe restart this quickly. They will. Long ball back to Ndema, and he'll just use his hands, but he'll use his feet. Gomez to Silla, trying to turn on Almeida, pops it out. When we did the halftime interview with Mike Noonan, he said we missed a clear penalty. We can take a quick look as they're going to throw it in. Chifumba, this was the penalty appeal. Your thoughts, Deb? We looked at it early in the first half.
Watch right here. He's already starting to lean and fall. He's leaning before the player even gets there.
Yep.
I think Mike, from his viewpoint, I can understand it because he sees his player going down. But when he gets a look at the replay, he'll understand that there's no contact initiated at the beginning of it.
Michael Sullivan skipping into some space, got his head up. Nice ball, played over to Jacasson if he can run it down. It's a little too hard, took him to the corner. And well read by Gomez. Walty, Mirkovic. This Pitt team now has trailed for 4 straight matches. They have not won any of those previous 3. However, they did equalize in every single one of the matches. In Akron, when they were down 2-0 here at home, they went up 3-2 at one point before conceding a final goal, left it in a 3-3 draw. Mirkovic on it, plays it in, he's got Noel right there! He's too good! Right between the center backs. Simple for a man of his quality. 29 career goals for Valentin Noel.
They actually had multiple options in this scenario. Almeida did such a good job on his run at the top of the 18. You second guess yourself if you're on the back line for Clemson because you're not sure if you're supposed to step in there. But one thing you can't do is let this guy roam free. Valentin Noel on the back shoulder run, just tucking himself right in behind the great Hamidi Diop. Just a little pinch back in. He had checked to the near post and peeled back off. He rotates on the right-hand side. Watch the finish, the instep. Makes it look so simplistic in nature.
And with that goal, he is now 4th in the history of Pitt soccer, tying Ryan Cuthbert with 29 career goals. In the last match he scored, he passed Dexter Alexander, one of his former teammates, to get to 5th. And now here we are, 1-1.
What do I always say to you? It's a very difficult game that we make hard on ourselves. The hardest part of that entire play was the move by Valentin Noel. It's the little check, you get the defender to commit, and then you have to bend, peel your run, but still have enough speed to get away from the defender in front of you, which he does. As the ball comes back across, there are a ton of players in that scenario. They're going to try and take it off the laces.
Yeah.
Highlight reel, FIFA, all that stuff on the Friday Night Lights. He's simple. Open your hips up, take it off the instep, back of the net.
Looked like a casual Sunday afternoon kick around, but it's not. It's national TV at a top 25 game, and he put it in the back of the net because that's what he knows how to do. And we are locked up at 1 apiece. And yes, the Panthers have equalized again and given a little more energy to this crowd here in Oakland. In terms of response from the Clemson Tigers, I mean, they've been defending these first 6 minutes. They've been on their heels. How do you get a little foothold into this game and get a little more balanced?
How often do you see Hamidi Diop, by the way, get beat like that? That's something that never happens for that defender who I've made the case to you multiple times this year, even though he hasn't been on the field this much, that him being the best defender in college soccer, now you got to find a way to just get a little bit of momentum. They've been defending a lot. They haven't been on the ball as much. We saw some of that at the start of the first half, though. just settle the nerves. Keep the game in front of you. The biggest issue you're going to have here is a lot of it is chasing.
Yeah.
In the first half, they dropped deeper. They kept the game in front of them. So even though they had to defend more, they were able to do it on their own terms. When you're chasing downhill, you can't see behind you. You don't know where the runs are coming from. That's exactly what goes on in the goal on the movement by Valentin Noel, where Diop got exposed.
Good header by Galina to get it up to Sullivan outside of the boot, pass to Jack Casson, 1v1 with Montana. Why not bring somebody else over to help? They don't. And that's going to go out harmlessly. Diop skipping past the first line of pressure from Noel, riding the challenge and the foul called. Stoika, a little talking to for Noel.
Oui, monsieur. The cat and the mouse.
I don't even know what you're doing.
Just bringing in the democratic nature that is the Frenchman.
Was that was your French accent?
No, ce n'est pas possible.
There you go. Look at that. Did you say that's not possible? There you go. I took 6 years of French, folks. I know nothing. That was real helpful. And Dad kept saying take Spanish. I was a hardhead. We made crepes in high school. It was an easy class.
So thin little pancakes?
College was a little bit harder. Yeah, those little pancakes. Over the top to Jack Casson. Can he run it down? No, he can't. Another Frenchman. Part of the Strasbourg Academy. That club is having a little bit of a tough year in Ligue 1. Ligue 1 in France this year. Foot race between Strobeck and Sefchetti. Sefchetti had about a 6-yard head start, won it by about a yard. Skinner bombing up there off the back of Almeida. Rosa trying to turn on Richmond and put it in the channel. He does, but no real concern of Diop. Mishandled by Skinner. Looking for the handball call there, and they will get it. Trying to hold up Rosa, does, lays it off to Silla. Silla to Gomez, could be something on as Richmond makes the run past him. Can he get it out? A couple extra touches, and no, Strobeck goes down. Down goes Strobeck. Down goes Strobeck.
You like that one, or are you just excited to call Daniel LaRusso's name?
Oh, I can't wait. One of the strikers for Notre Dame. We haven't had their game yet this year, but
he's going to fight.
Daniel LaRusso's going to fight? Do you watch Cobra Kai?
We've had this discussion. I watched the first couple, and then
you're missing out.
To our conversation before the match, I just struggle with series.
Okay, you're too busy. I understand. It's true. Richmond on the ball. Lays it off to Skinner on the overlap. Can he get back to his right foot? He is deadly putting ball in the box. Ton of assists when he was at UNC Greensboro. Silla looking to make an imprint on the game. Well done by Sefchetti. Sefchetti's really played well in this game.
Great, excellent player tonight. He's been, I said to you coming out, I used the word wild card. It's probably a bigger question mark. It's probably the way that I should express it. And he has been almost perfect out there.
Almeida gets the ball stuck on his foot, and Richmond dispossesses him. Silla.
Well done.
Gets it to Say. Say to Richmond. Chifamba.
This is where they get you, though. They start to push high. And they dropped in defensively. They leave Chifamba by himself, but they take Nathan Richmond and Tim Strobeck and pull them in. So it really looks like a 4-1-4-1 on the defensive front. So as they start to go forward, stays isolated. But when they get in possession and slowly move up, now they've got the attacking pieces going forward in support.
Skinner on the overlap, back to Richmond. Shot, save, Van der Sar. Went for goal himself. The second time Richmond's got off a pretty good shot, but Van der Sar was there for both.
It's a tough ask for him as well, because this ball 50% of the time is going to be cut back across to the top of the 18. You've got a runner about 20 yards out. You also had a back post run, and you've got bodies in front of you. He's smart though. Cheats a little bit, reads the hips of the player. The momentum coming back across the ball. Always going to go to the near post.
Uh-oh. Could be a dangerous area. Praising Sefchetti, but he got his foot back in there. Van der Sar pings it out towards Sullivan. Falls to Silla. Oh, man. Pick up your laundry on the deck there. Silla's still going. Lays it off to Richmond. Richmond gets the shot off to flex out for throw-in. Silla's starting to cook a little bit.
I'm not exactly sure why they didn't hit that thing on the backside, but watch. Let's go back to that chance that I was talking about. Keep an eye on the goalkeeper. So he's got all the runners to his left-hand side. Lucas Rosa just in front of him. Rosa almost pinches inside, overcommits a tiny touch, but that little window allows Richmond coming back across his body with his foot. Put a little English on it. You can curl it back towards the near post. Extremely well read by the goalkeeper, Joe Van der Sar.
Brandon Parrish just checked in the match for Clemson, replacing Strobeck. We'll see if that puts Silla in a bit of a different position. Or they keep him kind of in that midfield 10 spot. Say tried to pop it out to Parrish. And Parrish picks up the foul, getting himself into the match. And it looks like he will play out on that wing. Junior from Tennessee, Parrish, two-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Tennessee. And this is going to be something, it looks like, as Stoika's running over their handed pocket. It's going to have some words from Mohamed Say. And it will be a yellow for the big central striker from Spain. Let's take a look.
Well, how do you do?
Ooh.
There's a lot of things that you're allowed to get away with. Stepping on someone's heel is not one of them.
Doesn't seem like that's going to work. It's just right onto Mirkovic's Achilles, basically. Maybe even his calf. I don't know. That was high up there.
I feel that pain. Picked up a little knock myself yesterday on a little jog.
Wait, you got a dinged up calf, folks. That's called getting old. You didn't have somebody stab you with their studs in the back of your leg.
Correct. I did have someone set me up, though. The scouting report on the Ruds in the area, I went directly to the man himself, Vidovic. He set me up Heartbreak Hill and this, that, and the other. And
you don't have to go up Heartbreak Hill. He told you it was tough.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
He told you that.
Verbally, once he puts it out there, he inadvertently said, you have to go and do this.
That's your, I think that's your wanting to prove your manhood right there. That was your masculinity issue. That was what that was.
And
Nothing to do with coach.
I did not prove anything.
He hurt himself. Good to know.
Nothing a little Epsom salt bath couldn't fix.
Jack Hassan on the ball. Skips past Parrish. Noel lays it off to Mirkovic. Walty. Rolled to Almeida. Poor first touch, brought Silla back into it, and this could be a turnover, maybe a transition opportunity. No, good recovery by the Panthers. Almeida. Rosa continues run, little 1-2, well read by Diop. That was big because Rosa could have been in on goal if that pass was completed. Now Silla in a pocket of space. He's ready to turn and run. Say out wide. 1v1 with Galena. He's big, folks, but he can run with the ball. Walty closes down Silla immediately, but does make a nice switch out to Montana, he's going to put this thing toward the back post. Say is there. Can't get his head on it. It flings out to Richmond. Best spell of possession for the Tigers. Montana's got space, doesn't play the ball in, just keeps walking into it. Chifumba cycles it back to Lundegaard, the goal scorer for Clemson. Oh, and then Skinner just plays it out of play. Take a look at Diop reading this little 1-2.
He almost baits Valentino well. Notice when he squares up, his right foot starts to step to the inside. He's basically saying, go ahead, play it in behind me, see what happens.
Pitt making their first substitute of the night. Noah Hall coming in, the freshman from Cincinnati, replacing Rodrigo Almeida. Hall did enter that game against Akron to make a difference. He gave them that goal to put them up 3-2. Ultimately, like we said earlier, ended up in a 3-3 draw, but the freshman can provide a spark. First sub of the match made by Jay Vidovich at the 63rd minute mark. Don't see that often in college soccer, and if you're new to it, Almeida can come back. You've one re-entry in the second half, and geez, there was no foul there. Went right through Silla's back. No call, and Richmond's on the ball, head up though. Trying to get himself in front of Rosa, does that well. Freshman working nicely. Chifumba will switch it out to Montana. Parrish to Silla. Clemson started to play with a little rhythm to their game. Oh, Montana skips past the challenge. He's got an opportunity to play it in. Say's there, just over his head. First time strike from Skinner. Not that far off. Clemson's starting to ask some questions.
No foul call in the middle, though, and they just continue forth. No one stops and complains here. That's what I love about the Clemson Tigers. You see so many guys raise their hands, ask for something from the referee, but they continue on. Would have liked to have seen him step on this ball. That's what they had done a couple of times before. You step on it, you can go right back in. And Silla was sitting right at the top of the 18 as well. But it's up-tempo. There's a clear-cut vision. I told you, when this team is over half field and they have the ball at their feet, they're fun to watch.
Demo flops it over to Skinner. Silla now, not a lot of space again. Game seems to be getting a little bit stretched here. Silla plays it behind Gomez, pulls him off the run. He was still in space. To Montana, he's not going to, Parrish, he's not going to get there.
Remember, you said to me in the first half, how do you get him on the ball more? And I said, well, if you're going to bring him down in, you've got to find a way to stretch the game on the left a little bit. That's what they've done here with Nate and Richmond. In the first half, because they were pinned so deep, when they started to play out, the field's congested. As you open things up here a little bit, Silla comes deeper, but you've still got the player in front of him. Where Richmond is lined up right now, Silla was occupying both of those spaces in the first half. And instead, he comes underneath, a lot more freedom, because you still have to mark if you're Lucas Rosa with Richmond out here on the touchline.
Turned over, dangerous area, a lot of options for Orange. Gomez is touched too heavy though. Ball to Chifumba. They maintain the pressure. Montana on the overlap.
Stop! Stop! Fire! Fire! Go the left!
Montana, a lot of space. Early ball played in. Falls to Gomez. He can't control. As mentioned, this Pitt defense has been leaky. This is a lot to ask right now if they continue to be on their back foot here.
I would say that my biggest concern with them defensively, though, is normally in open space trying to chase the game. The good news is it's a pretty tight space that they're in. And the argument is there's more players and there's more movement, but there's less to run into as well.
Rosa on his horse. Can he get there? He does, but it goes out for a goal kick, pardon me. Crossing the 67th minute here. Alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Ambrose Urbanic Field. 1-1 is the score in this top 25 matchup. First goal scorer, Adam Lundegaard, with just seconds to go in the first half. The center back scored off a corner. Valentin Noel equalized just minutes after the start of the second half. The 51st minute, his 29th career goal, now into 4th place in Pitt program history to knot this thing up at 1. It's a top 25 clash, Dev, that we thought would be a top 5 clash when we saw it before the season. But a lot of injuries have plagued this team, one of them being Luis Samkow, the sophomore from Texas, has had a number of injuries. He's only making his 6th appearance of the year. Only the 2nd substitution for Jay Vidovich. We'll see if he can make any difference. And Berton Jacasson is sitting down, who also is carrying an injury but playing through it. That's taking off one of the most dynamic players in the game for Pitt, but for him to go 90 right now seems like a bit of an ask.
Very difficult, and the halves themselves are almost mirror images of themselves, just flipping the teams. If you think about the first half, Pitt on the ball a ton. They were certainly much higher up on the field, a lot of touches on the ball, and gave themselves some opportunities, and yet Clemson gets the lead right before half. Set piece, you come out of the dressing room, Pitt returns the favor, and now they've been off the ball, chasing him a lot more. But I will say this, the thing about Jacasson, not attacking as much, and a lot of those diagonals that they weren't getting, now you're going to spray Valentin Noel out to that left-hand side. He gives you that look as well, because he's got plenty of speed too. You can play off the target man and Samkow from the central location. I would like to see more out of Michael Sullivan. That's kind of the key factor here for me within the midfield, because Jackson Walty's been active. He's doing good defensively, tracking the runs and starting to help distribution outside, and Mirkovic has certainly been very busy. Michael Sullivan just sort of floating in this gray area of, I want to help press on the front line, I want to get involved in the attack. We haven't called his name a lot.
Center backs are forward. 16, Galina. Gilman, who's not that tall though, but he's coming up from his center back spot. You've got Mirkovic, first in the ACC assists per game, to float it in toward the penalty spot. And Dama off his line, a big shot for a penalty. Srin Stoika says he's having none of it. That goes out, we will give you another look. Silla makes a bad challenge. Rosa skipping around and then cleaned out by Lundegaard. He is the goal scorer, and he's going to get a quick yellow. And there, I believe, another yellow issue, this one for Michael Sullivan. Get this sorted out as tempers flare. All right, let's take you through this as Srin Stoika sorts this out.
Well, the first one's the no call on the shout for the penalty within the box. Ball up over the top. It looks like the arm's up. I didn't see any contact on the bottom side of things. And Lucas Rosa, remember folks, this is a number 10 attacking player by trade for good reason. Quality footwork as he steps up off the back line. Love the layers that they've added to this attacking unit. You talked about Jasper Loffelsen and how good he was at the outside right back spot. Much more linear in his thought process. Bombing up and down that right-hand side. You didn't see him tuck in as much. That's some of the versatility and dimensional fortitude that Lucas Rosa provides you.
Ball floated in. Galina's there, and Dama to claim, though, the freshman. Quick distribution. So Lundegaard and Sullivan got the yellows in that altercation, and Rosa doesn't like the foul call there. And now he'll get a yellow for dissent, it seems.
How's Silla for you? Attacker, midfielder, politician. Watch him on the backside of his. He just looks right at the referee. He begs the referee to card Rosa. It's a foul, 100%. Not necessarily sure it needs to be a yellow because of all the players behind the ball for both teams. Silla right up in front of him said, come on, I beat him, I'm in.
Sullivan shields the ball well from Chief Fumba, and then a foul called. Getting chippy. Walty brings it down in space. Still Walty. He can give it a shot here. He's still going. Still Walty. Can he break the deadlock? No, deflected. First time strike. Valentin Noel. Wow. Walty on a slaloming 50-yard run.
Loud locker room guy and respect. That's the scouting report from Vidovic on his captain, Walty. How good is this? 5 separate defenders, little touches, doesn't stretch over anything.
Bad turnover, ball's loose and it's deflected. And Lundegaard scored a goal for Clemson. He just saved one there. They're saying it's not deflected. I think that's a miss.
Well, playing it out of the bat goes wrong. Ramadi Diop has had a couple tonight. Let's just step back over. Look to hit the leg of Lundegaard from...
I thought it was a clear deflection.
Right,
That was a huge play, and then the Pitt players were mad too. Definitely some more energy in this game here.
Watch the leg. I mean, even off the rotation of the ball, it seems to change it, right?
Well,
we're all human. We make mistakes.
Agreed.
Look at you. You agreed to work with me.
I know. I was an idiot. Think about that every Friday around noon. Sam Cow on it again. Lays it off for Mirkovic. He sees the run. Over the top of Sullivan. Pulled him a little bit away, and he's off. Sullivan went offside. And you've got a Pitt player down. It looks like Sefchetti. And again, Sefchetti has not logged a lot of time this year. Only his 5th appearance on the campaign. Missed games early due to COVID.
Well, this is Michael Sullivan as he starts to peel off. We asked for more out of him. Got a yellow card for good measure a couple of minutes ago. The emotion starts to rise. But as Mirkovic checked down in, good hold-up play between everybody on the front, and the midfield just starts to spray through. From that angle, the bottom of the screen obviously off. Now what you're not seeing is the outside run. Yep, that's right. Much better look. Great view from that camera angle. Joey Skinner is close. I go back to the argument of the back four staying in tune together when one of them steps, and if you're Vidovic on the other side, it's Groundhog Day all over again with Sefchetti going on the ground. It seems like every single player on this back line has picked up something at one point in time this year. Reminder, 10th game of the season, 5 different times we've seen a different unit within this back four. We only saw 6 in the 2021 version for the Panthers.
And you've got Guilherme Feitosa coming in, the sophomore from Brazil. And why that's problematic is he's dealt with injuries all year, but he's a very good player. All freshman team last year. Dylan Sullivan also checks in for Clemson. 6 in orange, middle of your screen now. Another corner. Remember, this is where Clemson scored off a corner kick. Nathan Richmond to take it. A lot of traffic around Van der Sar again. It's exactly kind of the lineup they had. They scored the first goal. In swinging ball, headed down. Into the arms, though, of Van der Sar. And Joey Skinner was there. The free header. The man who won the game for them at Carolina off a corner and a header.
Just keep an eye on this position for Feitosa. He started as a center back, but he's more of an 8 and 10 by trade. If they do move him onto the back line, it's normally at the right back spot that's occupied by Lucas Rosa right now.
He had to deputize a little bit in that match against Louisville as well in that spot. That was more about chasing the game a little bit late. But Sefchetti on the season had only played 41 minutes. And they'd already gone 50 plus. He struggled off, and that's caused some substitutions. Nathan Richmond, who's got a good shift so far today, he will make way for Isaiah Reed, last year's most outstanding player of the College Cup. 2 goals in the national final against Washington, the first one 30 seconds into the match. Senior's dealt with COVID issues this year, getting himself back to full health. Reed sprinting forward, clips it in. Strobeck almost got the deflection to keep it in play. Silla gets it back to Montana. A lot of space there for Sullivan. Chooses to play it out wide.
Not inside!
Parrish is on it. Outside of the boot pass. Kind of look like Luka Modric right there. Oh, Diop cleared out by Noah Hall. That was just a little clumsy by Hall. No yellow going to be issued. Strobeck trying to turn on Galena, can't. Looking for a foul, not given. Looking to play it long to Sullivan. Flag up. Oh. Samka almost dispossesses Diop. Diop is coming close to having a horror show back there at times. Couple of high boots there, and Dylan Sullivan will get called. Quick restart. And Fallon Hall.
Diop, you get rattled as a defender because I've been there. You start to second guess yourself, you lose confidence, and you hesitate within your decision making. So you know you can do something, and he certainly has the athleticism to do it. He's got the speed, his vision is great. But that split second where you pause, it's an eternity in your brain, and it does affect the rest of the game. That half second, that inch, everything. It's the little things that I talked to you about. Jay Vidovich mentioned it as well, but for a defender like his capability and what he possesses, you're starting to see tonight he's just not at his best. You know, he doesn't have that full 90 under him really since he's worked his way back from injury. Second game of the season, and still yet to see the best. He was incredible though against Indiana.
Yeah, he was
Remember,
great.
I mean, that was
Season opener.
coming out party.
Fantastic win for Clemson, 3-2 against a now again ranked Indiana team. It was a foul throw that turned the ball back over. Could be an opportunity for Sullivan to play this in.
Oh.
Good ball by Sullivan to Strobeck. Dylan Sullivan, the younger brother of Tyler Adams, the central midfielder from Leeds in the United States. I would argue should be our team's captain all day, every day, but you know, that's either here or there. U.S. starts their World Cup campaign in a little over a month. How do you feel about where they're at? There, silence is golden, folks. The Japan and Saudi Arabia matches did not leave a lot of confidence. They've got some issues. Hopefully they figure it out. Isaiah Reed might solve some problems right now for the Tigers. Over to Parrish, low ball in, and somehow goes by the outstretched foot of Reed and harmlessly out for a goal kick.
Triple G's listening somewhere. Greg Berhalter, and I'm not about to throw myself under the bus. They almost get themselves under a fast-moving vehicle here, though. Look at the ball to the outside. Again, this team is just ticking at another level right now in the second half. You want to do something fun for both squads, to be fair. Watch the first touch. It's every touch to set themselves up for the next movement. There's a good example of it right there.
Brought down nicely by Noel, such a technically talented player. Back to Walty. Well, you're pulling punches now because Berhalter might be listening? Am I hearing that right? Like,
No.
They got problems. Like, I'm worried. We should be worried.
You should be. He's worried too, I promise you.
Pinged out the hall.
That's the difference, though, in these programs compared to some of the other teams around the nation. That first touch, the second touch, the little movements. Again, it's the shimmy. Everybody in NCAA soccer, no matter what division, is a good player. But the difference between good and great is what we're talking about right here. Look how efficient they're moving off the back line. Little touches in and out. This is a symphony, okay? Conductors on the sideline right now doesn't have as much. It's more planned in certain areas, showing them the movements. Now you're just asking every member of the orchestra to step up. And if one of them is out of tune, it affects the entire symphony.
No doubt about it. And again, Walty making that run forward, and Silla able to knock him off the ball. No call. Fans don't like it here. We got just over 10 minutes to go, and that's a new rule this year. There is no overtime, so if we're locked up at 1, that's how it's finishing. But there may be another goal in this match, folks. Second half has been much more like the way we thought the whole match would be played in terms of activity, opportunities, and just rhythm to both teams offensively. Mirkovic stepping by a challenge. Keeps the ball. Sullivan's on it. He's got a chance to shoot it. Sullivan skips past. Still Sullivan's shot. Save it, Dema! Mike Noonan said he wanted this freshman to feel some pressure. Well, he stepped up to the plate.
Great little turn here by Sullivan. Love the tackle by Mirkovic. He knows his touch gets away from him, but watch the little separation. Side by side, you go direct right through. You've got an argument if you go to ground that it's a penalty. I'm a little surprised that he tries to continue through. You got the pull from behind, the body's coming down. Sullivan lets him get away from him. Impressive, though, that Michael's able to get the strike off.
Appreciate the fact he didn't go down, but did he pay for that? We'll find out. Floated in. Laid off by Feitosa. Feitosa's there, going to try to poke at a lot of contact with Diop, no call. Held in by Gilman. Hall is on it. Pitt now applying so much pressure. Tigers can't get it out. Feitosa on it. Noel making that run through the middle out of midfield, but they couldn't connect with him. How do people know where Noel is now in this lineup? Kind of in like a 10 role with the 3 other attackers ahead of him.
Let's go back to the goalkeeper as well, because even though Sullivan started to crash back through, still good job. Look at the organization behind. If you're in Dema, asking all of his guys to be marked up. Little peel off there. There is no penalty. That's well done by the referee. And Dema, Mike Noonan said that he wanted him to be tested. He certainly had to deal with his fair share tonight.
3 subs for Clemson. Nathan Richmond, 25, on the far side of your screen is back in. Mohamed Say, the big number 9, is back in, as is Isaiah Reed in the near side of your screen. And for Pitt, step back in the game, number 10, Bertrand Jacasson. Again, one of the most dynamic players in the league. Carrying a bit of an injury, but he could be a difference maker as we are now just over 7 minutes to the final whistle. Van der Sar, distribution leaves something to be desired, to say the least. Richmond on it. Still Richmond, plays it to Silla. First time strike and a great tackle. Great block by Walty. As always, 89th career game. He is one of the best midfielders in the country. Always in the right spot, breaking things up.
I respect the decision, too, to leave your feet here, because if you're Jackson Walty, you've got to sell your body out to get out in front of this. The way that Silla peeled off of the ball, right back through. As a goalkeeper, just get rid of the thing. You don't need to be cute in this situation. You had all the high bodies for the Clemson Tigers. Knock this thing out, reset yourself defensively, and then you can start to attack again.
Joey Skinner had a free header on about the 6. Couldn't capitalize in the last corner. See what this one has in store. Not the best service from Richmond. Jacasson is out there. He can be a one-man counter on his own. Running with Chifumba. Oh, Jacasson still on it. Kind of dragged it nicely, kept it in play, but well done by She fumbled to usher him out eventually. Usher it out. Little 1-2.
Move up! Move up!
Nice ball played into the channel to Feitosa. Noel is there. Very tough to get that in frame the way he was running into it.
A little surprised they don't try and go all the way to the back stick here with Noah Hall. But to your point, get the ball back across the body. It's veering away from you. To take the sting off of that, he could be making the back post run coming onto it and be hard to put onto the 8x8.
Say lays it up for Silla. Back to Say. Trying to combine again, not happening. Mirkovic picks it up. He's got Jekason, who wants it played over the top. It is. It's in a foot race with Montana. Oh, Enrique comes back and wins it. That was a big-time play.
Watch the goalkeeper as well. It's a good tackle by Enrique Montana, but watch Ndema as he slides back over. This thing's going out for a corner. To me, that's the biggest difference between he and Trevor Mannion is how good he is with the ball at his feet. He's a lot more comfortable in distribution, and he reads the game a little bit better so that he can step off his line. He can make game-saving tackles like that, because that would have been a dangerous set-piece opportunity. 5 minutes to go.
Little scoop pass created by Jekason. Actually, Sullivan crowded out. Ball goes right out, turned back over. Dinked over the top by Mirkovic. Walty trying to get on it, can't. Jekason trying to cut in, plays the ball, looking for Noel, who peels off. Some contact, falls to Hall. Diop read the pullback well. Just under 3 minutes. Pitt has applied consistent pressure here. Gilman turns it over. Center back came forward. That could be a problem. Silla tried to skip past Galena, but he was equal to the task. Jekason, good turn. A lot of orange jerseys he's going against. Pulls it back, looks for reinforcements. Two minutes to play. Mirkovic over to Galena. And turned over. We've got a sub. Brandon Parrish going to re-enter the match for Isaiah Reed. Looks like Clemson's okay with playing with a point here. I mean, this is Reed in a very slow jog.
Well, if you remember, too,
clock is ticking.
Mike Noonan, he was very proud of his team on the road against North Carolina. He said we had to grind it out a little bit. It's very difficult to win on the road. But he did say the one thing he did not like was the way that they closed the game out. This is very similar to what we saw. They dropped down in deep. They chased a lot more. As they start to step on the ball and go the other direction, you don't necessarily need to go get a game winner. I would be okay with a tie in this situation as well, especially because they played pretty decently in moments. Now, Pitt's been the better team, I would say, overall. But when you start to go, it's almost a time of panic. Silla running one-on-one, Say running one-on-one. No one's coming into support to step on the game and help kill it off.
Well, we are at 40 seconds, and we did have the first goal of the match with about 15 seconds left in the first half by Adam Lundegaard. So it has happened, no doubt about it. UVA lost on a buzzer beat earlier this year. Almost falls to Rosa. Looking for a penalty call there, a foul call, excuse me, there will be. And he will signal, I assume, to stop the clock. He still has not done it. You see the players crossing their arms. That is the signal to stop the clock. They're asking for it. Stoica has still not done it. Clock is still running. Still running. I'm not sure. Usually officials always in the final minute of a game will stop the clock. And finally he does now with 49 seconds, with about 17 seconds ran off the clock there. This is going to be it. Clemson players are wondering why the clock is not running. What's up?
Tell me this isn't the exact same spot that Lucas Rosa hit his free kick from.
Yep.
Coming back across the body to the far post.
And Sren Stoica now is walking over slowly to, I assume, talk to Mike Noonan, or this is from the NC State game. Great job by our crew pulling that. And great identification by you, Devin. This is like the exact spot.
Looks like I just bought the bar tab for the production crew as well. They were on it. I got you, boys.
So Sren Stoica.
Hey, girl.
What up, Reagan? Going over to talk to Jay Vidovich. Jay's upset because the clock kept running. I mean, I thought there was a player down, too. I'm just surprised that clock continued to run in this situation. And he's going to say it's the end of the match. He's going to say that's it?
This is absurd.
That's ridiculous. If you're going to walk away, allow the guys to play. And there's confusion on both sides right now because the clock isn't even hit 90. You see the players are upset. I mean, I am shocked that we are seeing the game end in this fashion. If nothing else, if you slowly amble your way over to talk to Jay Vidovich, why aren't you just letting the guys play?
You've also already given the motion
signal
to stop the clock. If your decision is, I'm going to let this run.
Let it run.
Then let it run. And if you're going to stop it and say, listen, here's the deal. When I walk back